Hey all, and this is the special Lucha Libre event. This is a Fire Commander event and Beast Killer. So I made up a few teams. Crusade team here. This is for guild bosses or solo bosses. This is for the ultimates, trying to break as many shields as possible. And then an alternative team, which you may want to use yourselves, as this is actually quite effective. So we're going to scroll across to the first team. This is the Crusade team. Let's go from left to right. Brothers in Arms, a good card, high damage buff on it. You can see increases Fire Commander damage by 120%. This always makes it good to have on the team. Avenging Furies gives the next Fire Commander to use their battle skill a 200% damage buff for one turn. That's actually incredibly useful and used to buff up Heretic Hunters. You can use something similar to this for the bosses as well, but I think a Metaverse Masters team is better. So yeah, this also converts the cards, plus has a massive boost to self-damage. Exalted Champions again increases Fire Commander damage, this time by 100%. Then to finish, Altion's New Guard increases Fire Commander damage by 80%, also has a revive on the card. So yeah, that's a pretty straightforward Crusade team. Another card that might be helpful for the Crusade is Steel Force, since it has that basically nuke skill, unleashes a copy of the hero's strongest attack this battle. If you have a strong enough team, this will allow you to defeat the bosses in one shot just by using this card. But I think Umbral is a bit too difficult this time around, well, at least for me anyway, for that to work. So the relics, we start with Raised Staff. This has a percentage increase to attack, making it always quite useful to have on the team. Then it's just my best Fire Commander relics, basically. Since this is just for Crusade, it doesn't really matter too much about the shields. I don't need to break any. So yeah, I just put my best relics on the team like so. Nothing too complicated about that. But that's my Crusade team anyway. So the next team I use for both guild bosses and solo bosses. I do have the other team you saw earlier as well, but I think this is the better team. So let's talk through this one from left to right. Pretty similar to the Crusade team, Avenging Furies to start with. Grants the next Fire Commander to use their battle skill a 200% damage buff. Then that stacks with Metaverse Masters. The next hero gets a 150% damage buff. Both buffs go on Heretic Hunters. This also increases self-damage and converts. Then Brothers in Arms increases Fire Commander damage by 120% for 3 turns. The main reason that's on the team. Then Exalted Champions, similar to the previous card, 100% damage buff. So yeah, nothing too complicated about that. Should be a relatively easy team to use. All you have to do is go left to right and then watch the damage. Now for the relics for this team, slightly different to the Crusade team. This time around I need to break the shields, so we have the relic at the start, breaks 2 beast shields, plus 1 per Fire Commander Ultimate hero. That breaks all the shields apart from 1, so I need another relic to break the shields. And if we scroll across, it's the relic here. You can see that breaks 3 beast shields. Then the other 3 relics are just my best relics, pretty much, or best Fire Commander relics. With the exception of Raised Staff, which is just on the team for the percentage increase to attack. I think having Raised Staff on the team does make a difference to the damage as well. So I think it's worthwhile to do that. On to the next team. This is for the ultimates. The main change to this team is that all the relics are now optimised to break as many shields as possible. These are all shield breaker relics. Because there's one dark hero on this team, a couple of the relics are dark. So let's see how many shields I'm breaking. So to start with, we break 4 shields with this relic, an earth relic. Then this is 4 plus 1 per Dark Commander Ultimate hero. So that's 5 in total with that one. This is 3 plus 1 per Dark Commander Ultimate Hero, so that's 4 in total with that one. 2B shields plus 1 per Fire Commander Ultimate Hero, so that breaks 6 shields. And then just 3 shields. Let's work that out, how many shields I'm breaking. So there's the 4. That's 4 plus 1, which is 9. Then 13. 15, 19. 22 shields broken. There we go. So yeah, that's my basic setup for the ultimates. Just break as many shields as possible, and 22 is actually a good number. Hopefully I'll be able to get through at least 19 levels of ultimates with this team. Right, and here's a team you may want to try, an alternative team. It's quite complicated though, so I will explain how this works, starting with Area. The first thing you want to do in the battle is get supercharged up with Area. Then once you've done that, you want to use Metaverse Masters, only Metaverse Masters, and then after that, you want to use Avenging Furies, then go back to Metaverse Masters, then use Avenging Furies again. And the idea is the boosts stack up on Avenging Furies. It's quite complicated. I will have to do a few bosses to show you how this works. Then after that, convert to Heretic Hunters. Then Brothers in Arms gives another damage buff. So yeah, that is an experimental team, but it is quite effective. One of the reasons this is effective is because Avenging Furies has this bonus attack on it as well. So what I could do if I wanted to use this team is put 5 levels of Awakening on Avenging Furies, and I may well do that to see what sort of damage it does later on in the event. It is also a mortal killer, as you can see, boosted up by High Performance Unit Area. That is quite a strange team though. I've seen massive damage with this team, if you can get it to work. Sometimes 50Q. With the bonus attack as well, that almost kills a guild boss. But there we go, that's the teams I'm using. And an idea here that you can see that you may want to try out. So let's get on with the actual event. Here we go. Right, so here we go, the Crusade. As always, I recommend sticking with the Umbral as long as you can beat it. I also recommend scrolling to the bottom to see if there are any adventurers that are suitable. I'm currently sorting by Fire Commander. There's nothing suitable, so I will just take one of the ultimate forms with the 300%, 600% for all heroes buff. Here we go. Right, so here's the actual Crusade. I'm currently on level 16, as you can see here. So this is pretty easy, just have to minimise your card usage to get through this quickly. I think 1 or 2 cards is enough for the regular enemies. For the bigger enemies though, using cards 2 and 3, Avenging Furies, then Heretic Hunters should help you get through this pretty quickly. Well, hopefully anyway. Let's try that. So let's just try this and see if it's enough. There should already be boosts active from the previous cards as well. There's lots of damage boost cards here. And yeah, that's more than enough to defeat the boss, which is always good. There are also special enemies in the Crusade. I don't know if any will spawn on this attempt. I think that may be one of them actually. Let's just try these 2 cards. Here we go. Yeah, quite a few different special enemies this time around. They give tokens. I'm pretty sure that's one of them. But we will see when we get to the end of this if I get any tokens or not. So just regular enemies. I think the 1 card should be enough here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. And now for the final boss. this doesn't give solo bosses. It's the World Eater boss from the Forge bosses. I can't remember the exact name. I'll bring up the card after I defeat this. Roldark, I think it might be called, or something like that. But yeah, that gives the solo bosses. This doesn't. This gives guild bosses, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Guild boss summon. So yeah, I'll quickly bring up the card so you know which boss to avoid if you can't defeat the solo bosses. And yeah, you can see here the TKO crate from defeating the special enemy. And that's for the feature, which I'm going to be talking about a bit later on. You can see here the TKO Slugfest. So yeah, let's go over quickly. This is the enemy to avoid if you can't defeat the solo bosses. Rothark, World Eater. Don't know why I awakened this warden. It's such an old card nowadays. Look at the stats on it. But yeah, this is the enemy to avoid if you can't defeat the solo bosses. So do be aware of that. And quickly quit out if that spawns on the final wave and you can't defeat the solo bosses. So here we have a solo boss. I'm going to use my quicker out of the two teams. I will do some proper testing on the guild bosses, but for now I'm just going to use this team. I think single affinity might be better later on. After the initial hit, it's hard to get Metaverse Masters back up. There's not enough Dark Gems. So I may mess around with these teams. For the ultimates as well, they might be too difficult with Metaverse Masters. Too hard to get that card back up, so we will see. For now though, this team works okay as it basically one-shots the boss. There is one other thing you can do actually. If you don't want to immediately kill the boss, just use the 4 cards like this. And then chip down the health a bit. It shouldn't kill the boss. Well, hopefully not anyway. There we go. And that just takes some of the health off. And that's good if you want to get overkill on the boss. The only problem is, because of thorns, now I'm going to take a few hits. Altion's new guard will be quite useful here as it has a revive on it. But without the revive, I'm just going to have to take the hits. Thorns should disappear. I'm sure one of the cards... Yeah, there we go. Thorns is gone. And now I'm going to kill the boss using all the cards, just left to right. Nice, easy team. Nothing loose on the board, though, unfortunately. So this won't be a mega hit. Should be about 17Q. Oh, no, 13Q. But yeah, that gives you an idea of what this team can do. 50% overkill on the solo boss. Not brilliant, but I didn't really have an ideal board, unfortunately. Alright, so here we are with guild bosses. I'm now going to be testing out both of my teams properly on these. I don't have too many guild boss keys, though. So let's go ahead and hit the Umbral with my Fire Bosses team first. So this is a turn 0 deck, basically. After turn 0, it becomes quite difficult to use, as you need to get Metaverse Masters back. So let's see if I can do that. Probably not, as you can see here, it's only given me enough to get it half full. So the strategy with this team will be to hit it once, then quit out. But I'm going to try and get the Dark Gems needed. It's not easy though, as you can see here. There's a few Dark Gems that might work. The other problem is Thorns. Now, Thorns may actually help me. I'm hoping at least one of these cards has Revive on it. I don't think it does though. Alcyon's new guard has the Revive and that's not on the team, unfortunately. So if I'm going to deliberately die, I may want to swap around my team, put Alcyon's new guard on the team. You can see here though, after the very first turn, it becomes quite difficult to get Metaverse Masters going again. You have to rely on Dark Gems spawning. So yeah, this is very much hit once, quit out. It's maybe not the best team, but it's okay, and without Metaverse Masters, the damage is pretty poor, if I'm being honest. You can see here, only 5Q. So let's see what happens when I die. I'm pretty sure none of the cards have revive on it though. It's just Altion's new guard that does. Thorns has been removed though, so it doesn't matter too much. Hopefully the cards will be active pretty soon. Yeah, at this point I would probably die. Or come close to dying. Thorns is a bit of a pain. The way to counter Thorns is either with a counter card or a revive card, since it does quite a lot of damage, but yeah. I don't think this is going to quite defeat the boss. It'll come close, but not quite there. Metaverse Masters is full again though. Let's see what happens. See if there's a hidden revive that I've forgotten about on one of the cards. Let's see. No, there isn't. Okay, I need Altion's new guard on the team if I want the revive. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not yet. Right, so we have a new boss up. I'm going to try my alternative team. This is quite a complicated team to use, so hopefully it will work. Right. So yeah, first turn, want to get Iria up if I can. This is done something like this. Metaverse to convert, then Iria, then just match anything. And then next turn, use Metaverse Masters only. Again, the problem is Thorns here, if that kills me. But Iria does heal a bit, which is always useful when you get that going. And now, let's see. So it should be 2, 1, then 2 again, then convert, then hit. Well, there's not many loose power gems. Let's see what it does. I think with some awakening on that card, it could do good damage. 7.2Q. And don't forget, it does a bonus attack afterwards. I'm not sure if that was my damage or someone else's damage, but if that was mine, that was absolutely huge. I don't think it was, though, but yeah, we're going to defeat this boss pretty quickly. But yeah, that's how to use the team. Anyway, that's the important thing. There's quite a few of us hitting this boss now. So yeah, Metaverse Masters on its own, then go 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, it's complicated, but if I put 5 times Awakening on the second card, I can imagine this is going to do pretty decent damage. Would have thought 10 to 12Q, then bonus attack hits afterwards. Something like that anyway. So I may well use this team. I've seen quite a few others use it and do decent damage with the team. But yeah, it's something to consider using anyway. Yeah, that wasn't my damage, unfortunately. I need Awakening on the card in order to start doing the big hits, which I'm not quite doing yet. So you can see on the screen here, an ultimate has spawned. So I'm going to very quickly talk about ultimates. From what I heard, they are a bit different to last time. I think they have more shields. 10 shields to start with. So, yeah, you do want whatever team can break the most shields. I recommend being careful with your keys here, though, as they can eat through your keys. Start off with just the 1 key, and then when it becomes hard with 1 key, go over to the 5 times battle boost with 3 keys. So let's do the level 1 ultimate. So I'm just going to do this 1 level of ultimate. You can see, even though I have weird off-colour relics, I actually get a fair old few fire gems to start with, so there's enough to hopefully activate all the skills. Let's see. Might be a few short. Oh no, that's okay. And then just left to right, basically, as before. The other trick that I'm going to quickly show you is how to hold the ultimates until later. What you should do, if you don't want to continue with ultimates, defeat the ultimate, and then just as the boss dies, hit the quit out button, pause and quit battle like that. Then you can come back to the ultimate at a later date, meaning you can do other stuff if you want to. That's a very useful trick to know. But that's the only ultimate I'm doing in this video. The shields do get ridiculously high later on. I think it got up to 30 shields last time. So let's have a look at the TKO Slugfest feature. For now, there's only leagues that give these participation tokens, but I think at the end of the event, your league will determine what rewards you get from this, and I believe it's something to do with the Dragoons. I'm currently first, as you can see here, which is quite nice. The tokens have been obtained from the Crusade so far, but I will keep crusading to try and get these tokens, and hopefully get a decent finish in this section of the event. Right, I might as well go and collect the collection rewards while I'm here. This is a bit disappointing. We got stupid legend subs again. No one uses these legends, so why is this even a collection? I have no idea. Never mind, let's claim all of these. Yeah, all junk rewards apart from the gems and the orb of EXP. These legend souls really are completely useless. Oh, and of course the season choice coins, they're quite useful. But yeah, very, very disappointing. Please stop giving us rubbish collections like this. Doesn't inspire me to play at all when I see complete and utter junk in the collection. Guild Supremacy rewards. You can see here, Twin Dragons gift at the bottom. No one's going to use that though. A Ray gift, no one's really going to use that either. Just the orbs of EXP from the Guild Supremacy that people are probably going to use. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing. I will go and finish off this feature though. So I will say the support heroes are definitely getting stronger in this game. They used to only create fire gems, but now they create power gems, as you can see here. It also has a passive skill as well. I don't normally talk too much about the support heroes as they're never normally used, but they are getting stronger, and if you're new to the game, it's probably worth considering using this on your team, obviously when you've evolved it to 6 stars. And now let's go ahead and craft the random hero. Let's see what I get. Okay, so that's an old ultimate form. Oh! I can upgrade that card. Let's see where it is. This is a card that no one really uses anymore. It's the Beast Killer before the Beast Killer I'm using. However, I can take it up to 2 pink stars, so I might as well go ahead and do that just because I can. So that's something semi-decent anyway. If I get a Spire level where I just need Fire Commander Beast Killer heroes, it may be useful for there. Anyway, that's that done with. Right, what have we got this time around? Let's have a look. Vanguard, Dragoon. We will find out it's an Earth Dragoon. Unstoppable Plume. 1 turn cooldown creates power gems. Delay. I need to see what it specialises into though. As with all the Dragoons, there's not much use how it is now. It's when you get those pink stars on the Dragoon is when it becomes useful. However, sometimes these can be used to replace another hero. For example, there was a Dark Commander, or should I say Dark Dragoon, not Dark Commander. It specialises into a Dark Commander. Had the same battle skill as Metaverse Masters. Yeah, I want to see what that specialises into before I determine if that's worth working on or not. Okay, so let's have a look at the ultimates in the season. This is my opinion from best to worst. Now, I think the best ultimate hero is the Light Slayer one you can see here. This has that convert and massive self-damage buff. I think this is the best deck in the season and the one to get, especially if you play Slayer. All the bosses were dying extremely quickly during that event. Then I would say it's kind of tough from here. Maybe the Earth Commander deck next. A 200% to 1 hero buff is actually pretty useful, especially if you have something like Brothers in Banditry. That's quite a big buff, and yeah, I'd recommend that deck as the second deck. Then I'd say the Water Commander deck, my third pick. If we have a look at this, it's got a decent damage buff on it, 130%. That's pretty high for all heroes as well, plus a revive. I think this is a good deck. It's probably on par with the Earth deck, if I'm being honest, since it's for all heroes, but I think Earth is maybe a tiny bit better. But yeah, it's quite tough. But so far, Light, then Earth, then Water. Then my fourth pick would probably be the Dark Slayer deck. Not a bad deck, actually. But compared to the other decks, it's one of the weaker decks. Only has a self-damage buff of 120%. Does have the haste skill though, and the last stand. So yeah, not a bad deck, but it's not as good as the other decks, unfortunately. With the exception of the Fire Commander deck at the bottom, which I think is the worst deck in the season by far. The reason I think this is so bad is simply because there are so many other better Fire Commander cards out there. Plus it's 4-turn cooldown. It does have a convert skill on it though, but we have Heretic Hunters, and that's just a much better version of this card despite it being older, so not sure why this card is so weak. I was expecting something better, if I'm being honest. This is the deck to avoid, in my opinion. So let's have a look at the newsfeed, the scroll up here. Knockout sale available now. Yeah, that's just for the spending players, I believe. Yeah, nothing for me there, unfortunately. And the buy one get one free on the ultra rare. That's only if you got one directly from the vault, so you may have to go all the way up to the higher tiers for that. Ultimate Championship there. Ultimate rewards. Earn a full Transcended Dragoon Stone by taking the top spot. Probably won't be me, but I'll give it a go. And yeah, this event does sound quite interesting, but I guess we will see what you get if you don't finish at the top. I don't think I will get super far with Ultimates, but I think I could do up to about 19-ish with the teams I have. Right, so let's go over to the Ultimate form. Something interesting, I bought Tier 1 of the Vault Pack. I actually got 350 gems back, so I actually gained 50 gems by buying this tier. The Ultimate form for this event, though, as I've already mentioned, doesn't look that good. I will probably get half of the Water Commander deck. I will get the half that has the damage buff on it with my coins. I can only get half a deck. Let's just go back quickly. You can see here, if we scroll up, I'm missing one coin by the looks of it, so I'll just get one more tier of one of the Vault Packs, then get half of the Water Commander deck, as I already mentioned. But yeah, this deck is disappointing. It's basically the same as Heretic Hunters, except weaker, which surely it should be stronger, plus 4-turn cooldown. Yeah, a bad deck and a bad Legend Soul selection of rewards. It's not really tempting me to play this event that hard, but I'll give it a go and see how well I do. And out of the two individual cards, creates the Power Gems, Immunity. Also have a card like on its own. It keeps scrolling me down because I haven't collected this yet. Let's get that essence out of the way. There we go. Right, now we can actually have a look at the other card without it scrolling me down. Yeah, that converts and upgrades. So if you don't have Heretic Hunters, that card on its own might be useful. But yeah, you really need both of the cards, and yeah, it's not going to do as much damage, I don't think, with this ultimate form over Heretic Hunters, so just bring it up quickly just to show you. Right, there it is. You can see here, increases self-damage by 275%, also has the convert and upgrade skill. So yeah, it is a weaker version of this, plus 3-turn cooldown versus 4. So yeah, strange deck, that's for sure. Some players will go for this, but I can't imagine it being as effective as using the older cards. So yeah, that's interesting to say the least. But there we go, that's the end of this video. I hope that was helpful. As always, if you do have any questions or suggestions regarding this video, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to help. If you did enjoy this video, giving it a like and subscribing is always appreciated. Thank you to those that have already subscribed. You can check out my previous event video on the screen right now. You can also subscribe and see a playlist of all my legendary videos so far. And thanks for watching.